I was once Isabella Yang, famed for a beauty said to outshine every other woman in great song. But I'm not her anymore. She was bright and kind, pure and passionate. I am the woman in the histories, the temptress who seduced the emperor into neglecting court, the fox-like consort who ruined the realm, Lilith Yin. I'm arrogant and domineering, jealous and base, cruel and bloodthirsty, a storm that batters the imperial court. If Isabella Yang and I didn't share the same face, no one would ever link us together. Today, the Prince of Nanping's manor is bustling. My mother, the Princess Consort of Nanping, is hosting her birthday banquet. My father, the Prince of Nanping, was a great general who campaigned north and south alongside His Majesty. After the realm was pacified, in recognition of his great merit, the emperor granted him the imperial surname and a hereditary princely title. With his rank as prince, our family truly stands among the noble clans. Naturally, half the high officials and aristocrats of the realm have come to celebrate my mother's birthday. But those preening young lords of the great clans, I've never spared them a glance. Now I'm crouched behind the plum tree, waiting for just one person. Suddenly the gatekeeper calls out loudly, "Prince Adrian has arrived." The third prince, Adrian Yang? I'd heard my father say the imperial situation is tense. Though the crown prince is favored, he behaves absurdly and shows no sign of being a wise ruler. This third highness, though his birth mother is not distinguished, is brave and astute and could be greatly useful. But I don't think that far, because the one I'm waiting for has come. The gatekeeper calls again. Heir of the Liu family has arrived. He's dressed in a blue robe, bathed in sunlight, a smile on his brows and eyes as he greets my father and brothers with perfect courtesy. With a single glance, my heart lurches out of control. I don't dare look at him again. I turn and dart away. Later at the wine feast, cups and chopsticks clink as toasts pass back and forth. I step on stage in a red dead dancing dress, a thin veil covering my face, only a pair of bright eyes revealed. As the music starts, I begin to dance, my steps landing on every drumbeat with perfect precision. When the dance ends, I bow gracefully to my mother, then lift off the veil. The hall falls instantly silent. I can't help feeling a flicker of pride. In Nanping Prefecture, indeed, in all great song, I am the most beautiful girl alive. I wish Mother good health and long life, your beauty never fading, and for you and Father to grow old together, hair turning white side by side. My mother is delighted. Laughing, she says, "Good girl. Isabella, come up here to me." I walk forward. She draws me into her arms, her voice half teasing, half sighing at my ear. I wonder who our Isabella danced that dance for. I blush scarlet and can't stop myself from looking at William. He too is staring at me, gaze burning. My mother takes in our little exchange, can't help laughing and sighing, "You just can't keep a grown daughter." Then she tells Spring to bring out a hibiscus blossom, full and vivid in bloom. I look at her in confusion. She places the flower in my hand, smiles, and turns to address the guests. "I'm so happy today I won't stand on ceremony. Please all of you, bear witness for my little girl. Isabella, go and present this hibiscus to the man you favor." I'm shy at first, but when I catch Will's expectant expression, I can't help smiling. Lifting my skirt, I step down from the high seat with measured grace. Under all eyes, I walk right past Adrian Yang and place the hibiscus in William Liu's hands. He accepts it with joy, then sweeps back his robe and drops to one knee, raising his hand to swear, "With mountains and rivers as matchmakers and sun and moon as the betrothal gifts, in this life and the next, if I, William Liu, treat Isabella Yang even half a degree poorly, may I die young, fall into the cycle of rebirth, and suffer all 7 torments in my next life." On impulse, I reach out and cover his lips, not allowing him to go on. Smiling, he takes my hand and encloses it in his large palm, then pins the pink-purple flower into my hair at my temple, murmuring softly in my ear, "Beautiful." My face burns from ear to ear. The pink-purple hibiscus, my red dress, his loving eyes. With all my heart, I believe this will last a lifetime. At court, winds rise and clouds churn. In just half a year, the world turns upside down. My father says the crown prince, Edward Yang, murdered his father and rebelled. Prince Adrian Yang, raised troops to quell him, then ascended the throne as the new emperor. With a new emperor on the throne, our house in Nanping is bound to go to the capital to offer congratulations. Before departure, I run to bid farewell to Will. Right in front of my father and mother, he presses a kiss to my brow and pins into my hair a hibiscus-shaped hairpin he made himself. He says, "When you come back, you'll be a bride." Our wedding day is set for 3 months from now. As soon as we enter the capital, the new emperor invites my family into the palace for a banquet, and even sends a carriage letter. My father accepts the carriage with utmost respect, then warns us all very sternly to watch our words and behavior. Though I'm a daughter, he's never confined me. Besides needlework, he's had tutors teach me military strategy and statecraft. My mother has even joked that father intends to have me sit the civil exams. But my heart is uneasy. I fear the new emperor will use my father as an example, kill the chicken to warn the monkeys. Once we're in the palace, I see that everyone of note in the capital has been invited. Only then do I slowly relax my guard. Quietly, I study the new son of heaven, and think to myself that he truly has changed. Adrian Yang wears a bright yellow dragon robe, nobility radiating from him. He's like a sword freshly honed, so sharp you can't look directly at the edge. As a child, I played with him a few times. Back then, the third prince was overly cautious, but I'd somehow sensed he was the cleverest of the princes. My father and brothers drink a fair bit of wine. I follow suit with a few cups. I don't expect the wine to be that strong. Soon, my head swims. My mother notices I'm drunk and, afraid I'll lose decorum before the throne, quickly asks a palace maid to help me to a side hall to rest. I lie on the bed, my whole body burning. I tug open my collar for a little cool air, but the heat only worsens, as if a fire is melting me from within. Suddenly, the main doors open. Someone walks in against the light. I can't see clearly and struggle to sit up. When he comes closer, I see the dragon-patterned jade hanging at his waist. My body turns weak. I sink to my knees, my eyes fixed on his dragon-embroidered boots, my heart pounding in terror. I hear my own hoarse voice, "Your Majesty." He hooks a finger under my chin, forcing me to look at him. In the black of his eyes, I see my own disheveled clothes and misted gaze. "Isabella, I've missed you terribly." His long fingers skim my lips, neither hard nor soft, finally pressing on my lower lip. A low, "Please" laugh escapes him. I'm burning up, dizzy and faint. I just stare at him, unable to react. He seizes my arm, lifts me off the ground, and lays me on the bed. Only then does some clarity return, and I begin to struggle. He ignores my fists and kicks and kisses my lips. He kisses with a fierce hunger, as if releasing a desire pent up for years. My mind goes blank. Under that lingering, forceful kiss, something buried deep in me stirs. Then I hear the sound of fabric tearing. He presses down over me. That night is where my nightmare begins. The next morning, when I wake, our two naked bodies are still intertwined. Though his skin is so warm, I feel as if I've fallen into an ice pit. I can never be Will's bride now. The boy who carried me on his back up the mountain to watch the moon, who kissed my lips in moonlight and swore he'd marry no one but me, he's like a beautiful dream. Tears pour silently down my face. My heart is ash. Adrian Yang dresses, then turns back to where I sit dazed in the bedding. He wipes away my tears, smiling as he promises, "I'll make you my consort." A ruler's promise is never about what you want. It's about what he wants to give. My gaze snaps into focus. I grab his withdrawing hand, stubbornly locking my eyes onto his. I want to go home. His face ices over, clearly displeased with that request. "I want to go home. Please, please let me go home. I beg you, please." At last I break down and cry out loud, pleading with him, staring at his darkening expression. He wrenches my hands off, grips my cheeks, and smiles in a terrifying way. "Fine, if that's really what you want." He flicks his sleeve and walks out. Staring at his back, I close my eyes. At last, I break down sobbing, curling into a ball as if that will make me a little less cold. After a while, I sit inside a small palanquin, eyes empty, my mind a fog. On the palace road nearby, a group of palace women giggle and gossip. They're laughing merrily. "I heard His Majesty favored some beauty last night." Really? If you ask me, I'm sure she seduced him. Of course, our emperor's so handsome and refined, what girl wouldn't be tempted? Their words stab at my ears. I clench my skirt in a death grip and swear to myself that I'll never ever return to this vast imperial palace. But soon I go back on my word. We return to the Prince of Nanping's residence in the capital. Aside from my elder sis and my mother, no one else is there. My father and brother have yet to come home. When she sees me, My mother says nothing. She just seizes my hands and scans me up and down. I avoid her gaze, but she still sees the dense red marks on my neck. She understands. Clutching me, she sobs until she's gasping for breath. My elder sis stands silently to the side, tears falling. I can only sit and watch them cry, all the while sick with worry for my father and brother. Adrian Yang proves brazen beyond measure. Not even by noon, the news has spread through the capital that the Prince of Nanping and his heir entered the palace in armor with troops, intending to rebel. A general who gave his life for the country turned rebel by one word from the emperor, laughable beyond belief. Clerks from the Ministry of Justice kick down the Prince of Nanping's gate and flood in, roughly tying up the household like they're driving livestock. My mother, my elder sis, and I are stripped of our jewelry and silk, shoved and dragged, then driven into a cage. My mother and sister sob quietly. My face shows nothing. I don't even have the strength to cry. I only look coldly around. The arresting officials spit, cursing under their breath. Their faces are the same ones that wore fawning smiles at my mother's birthday banquet only months ago. The servants' screams are shrill and deafening. They curse my father and brother viciously, blaming them for bringing this disaster down on their heads. The common folk, ignorant of the truth, are furious. Rotten leaves and spoiled food rain down upon us. One day a noble's kin, the next day prisoners in chains. Adrian Yang is flaunting his imperial power, forcing me to yield. In the crowd, I see Will. He's holding the reins of his prized horse, dressed in the same simple blue he always wears, standing clean and upright. His fine brows are faintly knit as he looks over at us. Clear skies after the rain, a gentleman upright and austere. Look, he's still exactly as I liked him best. But I'm covered in filth, my hair a tangled mess. How could I still be worthy of him? My mother, sister, and I are thrown into the dungeon. That evening, William Liu comes. "Young Master Hare, don't make it hard on me." "A stick of incense is time at most," the jailer says. The man who orders us around like dirt now bows and scrapes to him. For the first time in my life, I truly understand how power can put people in two utterly different worlds. William stands before me, eyes shining with tears. He reaches out, wanting to smooth my messy hair, his heart aching. I turn my head slightly, dodging his touch and his gaze. My eyes are already brimming. "Why? Are you here?" My head is bowed. I dare not meet his eyes, afraid that if I see his concern, I'll never be able to let go. He freezes, helpless, then blurts, "I'll get you all out. Don't be afraid, Isabella." At last I raise my head to look at him. He's as pure and kind as ever, stubborn in a way that can't be dissuaded. I steady my heart, forcing the tears not to fall. "Will, the Prince of Nanping's house is finished. I'm the daughter of a traitor now. Any tie to me will be bad for you and for the Liu family. You're not just William Liu. You're the heir of the Liu family." I look straight into his eyes, persuading him word by word. He steps forward, seizing my hand, taking in not one word, still as stubborn as ever. "Isabella, leave it to me. Believe me." The sunlight outside slowly dies behind him. My heart grows cold inch by inch. He has no idea what's happened to me. I pull my hand from his grip. In his shocked gaze, I force a wan smile. My hands shake as I loosen my belt. My outer robe falls. The bruised kisses on my neck are laid bare before his eyes. His face is full of disbelief. I laugh faintly. The dam finally breaks, tears gushing down as I pick up my robe and turn my back to him. Shame, rage, bitterness, I don't even know what is boiling inside me. It's like being sliced by a dull knife, leaving only pain. "Will, you see now? I'm already defiled. Even if you save me, can we ever go back to how we were? Don't worry about me anymore." I turn and see his reddened eyes. My own heart twists in pain. I pause, then force myself to say cruelly, "I've decided. I'll stay. Perhaps I can become a consort." He keeps shaking his head. His lips move, but no sound comes out. He clearly refuses to accept it. He doesn't understand how things could have turned this way. They were on the very brink of a happy marriage. No, how could this be? No, this isn't true. A tear rolls from the corner of his eye as he mutters. Then he turns and flees. Watching his retreating back, I collapse to the ground. Now my tears truly pour like a breached floodgate. So it's true. A body as filthy as mine is hard for anyone to bear the sight of. Good then. This way, everyone can let go. Peach blossoms burning bright, the groom shall take his bride home. He'll find a better girl and grow old with her. And I lift my eyes to the pitch-black cell and curl my lips in a bitter smile. Since someone wants me cast into darkness, I can only be buried in the night, never to see daylight again. As I expected, after William Liu leaves, Adrian Yang comes. The Son of Heaven himself arrives. The Minister of Justice bows low to usher him in, gives me a quick glance, then hastily drops his eyes and withdraws. The Emperor stands there, robes immaculate, eyes roaming over my filthy body with amused interest. Hatred burns in me. I want to leap up and tear him to pieces. In the end, I must swallow it down. Trembling, I kneel. He mistakes it for fear, and his voice even carries a hint of tenderness. Isabella, are you frightened? I am not afraid. I only hate. I lift my head to see his playful expression, the way he revels in the pleasure of his power. I follow his lead and ask, "What will your majesty do with me?" He steps closer, seizes my arm, and hauls me to my feet, forcing me to look him in the eye. "Why are you crying?" He stares with displeasure at my bloodshot eyes, his tone bland. "I don't ever want to see you shed tears for another man again." A jolt of dread runs down my spine. He knows that Will has been here. "Isabella, I like you. Do you know that?" When I don't reply, he goes on. Adrian's eyes are very black. If you stare too long, you feel a suffocating pressure. I only curve my lips and smile at him. My nails dig into my palms, but I don't feel a thing. To him, liking means tricking her into his bedchamber and taking her against her will. Liking means imprisoning her father and brother and condemning her family for treason. Liking means binding her with power and snapping her wings. So this is his like. Seeing me silent, Adrian gives a low chuckle. His big hand lingers on my cheek, like he's toying with fine jade. Even sounds a little regretful. "It seems you don't remember. When you were 6, you came to the palace for a banquet. The late Empress let that idiot former crown prince humiliate me. So many girls there, only you spoke up for me. If lords and nobles are made, are commoners not also made, you said. Out of everyone, only you saw my worth. Right then, I swore, you were mine, you could only be mine." I watch the faint madness creep into his eyes, fully understanding now. I lift a hand to take his, speaking evenly. "I can be yours, if you let my family go." Adrian's face remains calm. He releases the hand I'd taken, pulls me into his arms instead, his calloused fingers stroking my brows and eyes. Smiling, he says, "Then does Isabella know how to please me?" His meaning hits me. My face floods with heat and shame spreads through me like poison. I glance around. The wall beside us is all that separates me from my mother and sister. Yet he wants to. Not here. I beg in a small voice, hoping to keep some last shred of dignity. In the next instant, he has already torn open my belt. His large hands plunge straight down inside my clothes. He breathes hotly against my ear. "But I like it here. I'm like a lone skiff on a raging sea, tossed and dropped by storm and wave. I refuse to let a sound escape me. I bite my lip until it's torn and bloody. This only earns a murmur from him. Isabella like this makes one's heart ache all the more. He cares for nothing but his pleasure. He casts my pride to the ground and smashes it into fragments beyond repair. I change my name. From Isabella Yang, I become Lilith Yin, the favored Xuan imperial consort. Adrian keeps his word and releases my father and brother, even publicly declaring their innocence. How laughable. A single imperial decree can decide life and death. No wonder so many would do anything to hold the brush. Once I enter the harem, I rarely leave my quarters. I tilt my head back to look at the small square of sky framed by the courtyard walls, sometimes laughing, sometimes weeping. Seeing me listless and dead-eyed, Adrian complains I spoil his mood. After a few visits, he stops staying every night. From the mouths of sweeping maids, I learn that the Prince of Nanping and his consort are still in the capital and haven't gone to their fief. I'm restless, fearing some change. My anxiety grows day by day. But there's nothing I can do. A month passes like this. The Empress suddenly comes. The Empress, Catherine Liu, is William's half-sister. I knew her in childhood. Back then she seemed a woman of learning and gentle temper. Meeting again now, the situation is painfully awkward. She appears unconcerned. Sitting beside me, she plays with my hair, looking at me with a touch of pity. Little sister's days can't be very happy. My throat stings. Everyone says the Xuan imperial consort is deeply favored, so blessed she should be overjoyed. Why wear a face of sorrow, just to draw the emperor's pity? She may be the only one who can sigh for me in this position. Catherine dismisses the maids, leans close to my ear and whispers, "Tomorrow, the Prince of Nanping will wait for you at the south gate. You will leave the palace. I'll lure His Majesty away and see a fire lit. You'll escape death in the chaos." She slips a drawn map into my hand. My heart burns, and yet doubt rises. "Why are you helping me?" I ask. Catherine just smiles, answering calmly, "There's not a woman alive who wants her husband's eyes fixed forever on another woman." My wariness eases, my fingers tighten around the map. Freedom feels very close. "Try one more time," a voice inside me coaxes. Flames roar to the sky. Under cover of night, I slip into the secret passage and grope my way out by touch alone. Outside the palace walls, the wind smells of freedom. I'm like a butterfly loosed, light and joyous as I run straight toward the south gate. Father is indeed there, standing by the gate with a horse, waiting. His temples are whiter, his once straight back bent with age. I quicken my steps and hurl myself into his arms. I'm afraid this is all a dream. I clutch him tighter and break into helpless sobs. He pats my back gently, soothing me. "Don't cry, Isabella. Father is here." Hearing his familiar coaxing voice, I at last lift my head, still sniffling, and pout like a child. From now on, Isabella will never leave Father again. Then I rub my head against his warm chest. My sister helps me into the carriage. As I lift the curtain, I find myself face to face with William Liu. His robe is wrinkled, red veins line his eyes, and a shadow of stubble roughens his chin. In less than a month, the bright boy in fine clothes on a spirited horse has grown this haggard. Seeing me, his eyes light up. His hands clench his robe in a nervous grip, and he's suddenly awkward. My sister, taking it in, gives me a little push into the carriage, then goes to share another one with Mother. I sit inside, not daring to look at him. That day, I ripped off the last shred of covering, showing him the filthiest side of me. We grew up together. I know his nature is pure and kind. Even knowing I've lost my chastity, he'd never despise me. But he's like the moon, so clear and bright. I don't want to stain him. He deserves someone better. We ride in silence until the carriage rolls out through the capital gates. Only then do I hear him speak. "Isabella, I'm sorry." Startled, I raise my head and meet his red eyes. My heart trembles. "I let you suffer all that alone. It's my fault. I didn't protect you." His voice shakes with guilt, and by the end he's choking on the words. I'm just about to comfort him when the carriage jolts. I pitch forward, almost cracking my head. He grabs me and pulls me into his arms. His embrace is as steady as ever, as hard to part with as ever. I struggle to sit up, but he holds me tight, his chin resting on my hair as he speaks. "Isabella, if you truly despise me now, I'll get out of this carriage and never trouble you again. But if you still have even half a bit of feeling for me, don't push me away." I stop struggling and let the tears come, falling one by one. "But Will, I'm no longer the Isabella Yang in your heart." I let the tears run unchecked, doing my best to state it flatly. "You deserve better." He just laughs softly. I look up in confusion. Laughter has smoothed his brows. He gazes at me with an ease and freedom I've not seen in him for a long time. "Isabella, I swore I'd marry no one but you. You've never changed. Someone only used power to force you. I was born to be the companion star to yours. If I leave my main star, what am I to do?" His big hand strokes my hair. Tears brim in his eyes and fall hot against my neck, warming my heart. "Isabella, please, don't just leave me behind like this." His plea is lowly, almost abject. Before this, I'd hardly ever seen Will weep. He always claimed grown men shouldn't cry easily. Now he's a helpless, sobbing boy. I look at him seriously. Something in my heart loosens. I smile, relieved, tip up and kiss the corner of his lips, then obediently curl into his arms. "Just for a while, let me be Isabella Yang again." His arms tighten, his hold on me grows firmer. I hear his quiet laughter. The days we spend on the road are almost like the old times, as if I'm just traveling with my parents far from home. Only the nightmares won't let me go. Adrian appears in my dreams, tearing open my clothes despite my struggle, his voice like a demon in my ear. "Lily, you should come back." Each time I jolt awake and turn my head, there is no Adrian. Only Will is there, still keeping watch beside me. I laugh silently at myself for being so jumpy. After 7 or 8 days, as we're about to enter Nanping Prefecture, disaster strikes. A large band of mountain bandits rushes us, shouting and killing. Without a word about terms or ransom, they attack outright, not even giving my father time to speak. Lifting the curtain, I see that even the elite guards my father chose are hard-pressed before the bandits. My heart pounds like mad. They're well-trained, not here for money, but for lives. Could it be him? Chill spreads from my spine through every limb. The shouting and clash of steel gradually falls silent. An eerie stillness settles over us. Then a voice, smooth and amused, cuts through the dark night. Terrible to hear. Prince of Nanping, how could you leave the capital and take my beloved consort with you? I flinch. I start to raise my hand to the curtain, but mother and my sister catch my arms. Your Majesty, what are you saying? Here is only my beloved daughter Isabella Yang, no such person as the Xuan imperial consort, Lilith Yin, my father says outside. I breathe a little easier and force myself calm. Lily, if you don't come out, I won't be so polite, Adrian calls. 3 breaths pass. I still don't move. Then there's a muffled grunt. In the end, I wrench my hands free from my mother and sister and fling the curtain aside. I see Will on the ground, clutching his knee, an arrow sticking out of it. I run to him, spread my arms, and stand in front of him. He bats my hands away, scolding in a low voice, "Get back in the carriage." Tears streaming, I shake my head hard. If I go back with him quietly, everything will settle again into peace. All I have to do is agree. Adrian snorts mockingly. How very tender and loving. He lifts his bow. Another arrow flies. No, I scream. The arrow still whips through my loose hair and plunges into Will's chest. Warm blood splashes my face. My eyes go round. I can't blink, can't look away from Will's eyes. Those eyes, bright as stars. My favorite thing was seeing my reflection in them. He lifts a trembling hand to cover my eyes, pulling me into his arms. His head rests on my shoulder. His breath is barely there as he whispers in my ear, "Isabella, don't look. It's my fault. I couldn't protect you. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." It's as if someone has seized my heart and wrenched it from my chest, kneading it to pulp. There's nothing left but pain. Will, don't sleep. I still have so much to tell you. Don't sleep, please. Sobbing, I beg him. My shaking hands press his hand from my eyes to my cheek. He's coughing blood. He's in agony, but he still smiles. His hand wipes away my tears. His empty eyes still curve in a smile. "Isabella, don't cry. If you cry, you won't be pretty." His voice grows fainter until his hand slips and falls limp. I clutch Will's lifeless body, trying to scream, but no sound comes, as if I've lost my voice. Through my tears, I see a pair of black boots embroidered with dragons. Adrian Yang stands before me. With no effort at all, he hauls me upright, one hand gripping my waist, the other clamping my cheeks, forcing me to look at him. His eyes are ice. Lily has been naughty, she must be punished. I realize what he means at once and see that his guards have already subdued my father and mother. Panic surges in me. He watches my fear with leisurely interest. Tomorrow, the news that the entire family of the Prince of Nanping died in a bandit raid will spread through great song. I clutch his hand in both of mine, abase myself completely, and beg. "Isabella, Lily was wrong. Lily knows she was wrong. I beg your Majesty, please spare them." I wrap my arms around him. Doesn't he like me being the one to initiate? So I initiate. I kiss him hard, trying to sink into him, to merge into his flesh. "Isabella, don't shame our house of Nanping," father shouts, stopping me. I meet his anguished gaze, then look away, still pleading with Adrian again and again. I don't care about face, I just want them to live. If only they live. "Adrian, you do this because you fear my house's Gonggao Gaiju, our merits outshining the throne," father says, cold. Adrian's face darkens. He looks at father. I hear him say evenly, "And what if I do?" At that, father throws back his head and laughs, his voice echoing down the ravine. "You violate my daughter, kill your subject, and even if you kill me, you won't keep the throne you schemed so hard to win." Adrian's face goes colder. He drops his hand from my waist. Kneeling, I stare at father, shaking my head in panic. "Father, no. Don't say that." He gives me a comforting look and a faint smile that makes my heart pound. "Isabella, forget everything. Don't beg him anymore." He finishes, then drives himself straight onto the sword blocking his path. The blade slices his neck. Blood pours in a crimson sheet. The world hums and I faint where I kneel. I dream a dream, long and long. Little me trips on a plum tree root and cries without stopping. Father scoops me up and soothes, "Don't be afraid, Isabella. Father's here. Mother wipes my tears and scolds my brother. Then I'm sent to the academy, where I meet an incredibly handsome older boy. He says his name is William Liu. We pick flowers and play at leaf wars, watch sunsets and rising moons. I love him and he loves me. Father and mother give in to my coaxing and set our wedding day. I sit at home, face full of sweetness, embroidering my wedding dress, wishing for our wedding to come faster. But that brilliant red dress of mine turns in an instant to a limitless sea of blood. Will dies. Father and mother die. Their blood soaks my wedding dress. A man grabs my arm and forces me to put on that blood-stained dress and bow to heaven and earth with him. I scream, I rage, but I'm locked in a huge iron cage. I watch him win wars and glory. I watch the multitudes prostrate themselves before him. I watch his spirit tablet set in the ancestral temple, his name honored forever. I rush forward, smash his tablet, and overturn his offerings. Why? He destroyed my family, ruined everything I had, and yet he can be praised for generations? I hate him. I hate him. I will destroy everything that's his, make him suffer as I have, every nerve burning, stripped of all. When I wake again, Adrian is sitting by my bed, eyes seemingly full of affection. You're with child now, and still you throw tantrums with me, he says mildly, as though that whole chaos were a minor squabble. Lily won't make trouble anymore, I say meekly, resting in his arms. The Prince of Nanping's whole family has died in a bandit raid, Isabella Yang among them. And I, before their bodies are even cold, wear red in front of the emperor, swaying, flirting, seeking favor. After all, I'm Lilith Yin. I have nothing to do with that glorious house of Nanping, and Lilith Yin is fated to be a demon consort. At 5 months pregnant, in the bright days of spring, I stroll the imperial garden with a fan in hand. Catherine's 10-year-old son has just come from his lessons in the minister's hall. I put on a small smile and walk up gracefully. Young prince, where are you off to? He clearly dislikes me. He frowns, wrinkles his nose, and steps a few paces back before saluting. To pay respects to my mother, the empress. I chuckle softly, just nod and turn to walk on. Children are not suspicious by nature. He trails behind me silently. Suddenly I stagger and fall. He panics and reaches to help me. I clutch my belly and cry out, Your Highness. Why did you push me? Before he can react, Adrian appears. I know he always comes to the imperial garden around this time to escort me back to Caoyang Palace. Lily, what happened? He lifts me up in his arms, face full of concern, heart aching. He loves my obedience, my quick wit. He can't bear to be without me now. Sweat beads cold on my brow. That fall was real enough, and it hurt. I shake my head and look at Henry Yang with a timid glance. He's Adrian's legitimate eldest son. Who knows how Adrian will react? But Adrian only boots him to the ground and snarls, Useless trash with ill intent. What good are you? Then he turns and leaves with me in his arms, not sparing his son another glance. I wind my arms around his neck and rest my head on his shoulder, as if clinging to him. In truth, I meet Henry's venomous stare with a tiny satisfied smile. If a father shows no kindness, why should a son show filial piety? As for Catherine's part in the plot with Adrian, this I learned from his own lips in the pillow dark afterward. When she received Will's letter, she went straight to Adrian and told him everything. So the lives of the Prince of Nanping's house and the heir of the Liu family, she's already been repaid for them. How could I ever let her sit securely as mother of the realm? At 8 months, Catherine invites me to view flowers. I smile, fold a letter, and burn it over the candle. The flame seizes the paper, devouring it the way my hatred devours me. In the end, she loses patience, or perhaps fears that the emperor's beloved Xuan consort will bear a prince to rival her son for the throne. I accept her invitation. She has one hibiscus blossom after another brought out in their full, bright glory. So the hibiscus are blooming again. Staring at the vivid pink-purple petals, I'm stunned. How does the Xuan consort like these flowers? She asks lightly. I lift a brow. They're nothing much. She wants to see my pain, but I'm no longer the radiant, passionate Isabella Yang. Now I'm only a puppet with heart and guts scraped out. Halfway through, Beauty Lou's cat suddenly bolts from her arms. I can't dodge in time and fall heavily, blood staining the ground beneath me. In the chaos, I catch Catherine's triumphant look. I give her a smile in return. I'm carried to the imperial infirmary. Adrian leaves court in mid-session to rush over. As the cry, "His Majesty has arrived," rings out, I begin to scream, so he hears my shrill cries the moment he enters. Physicians hurry in and out. Basins of clean water go in, basins of bloody water are poured out. Agony tears at my lower body, but another voice in my mind speaks. "You must not die. Remember your hatred, your vengeance. Why should you die before they do?" So I hold on, but the child is lost. "Your Majesty, our child is gone, isn't it?" I ask again and again, my eyes filled with grief, while in my heart a nameless elation rises. "There'll be other children," he says hoarsely, gathering me close. I sob into his chest until I can hardly breathe. His face is hard and cold as he holds me, glaring down at the kneeling concubines. He's barely finished punishing Beauty Lu when she snarls back and spills the Empress's entire scheme. In Catherine's shocked eyes, I curve my lips. I know what surprises her. Beauty Lu's family is held hostage by her hand. Only under threat would she dare such a thing. How could she possibly turn and expose her before Adrian? Too bad. Her plan would indeed have been flawless against the naive Isabella Yang. But against me, it leaks from every seam. I found Beauty Lu first, promising that if she turned, I'd spare her family. A favored imperial consort is naturally more persuasive than an unfavored empress. As I'd hoped, Catherine Liu is sent to the cold palace for jealousy and cruelty, plotting harm to the imperial heir. A few months later, the deposed empress hangs herself from a beam in Beam Hall. I stare at the rope marks in my palm and think idly how I might avoid Adrian's bed for the next few days. The day the Xuan imperial consort becomes empress is the death anniversary of the Prince of Nanping's family. When I hear the date, I only turn a little pale. I still pile rouge on my cheeks, don splendid robes, and stand before the bronze mirror laughing to myself. I mount the high platform. Hand in hand with Adrian, I gaze down over the world, basking in the adoring stares of the masses, cold from head to toe. He asks with concern, "What's wrong?" As if he truly takes me for Lilith Yin. I give him a coy smile. "Nothing. I'm just not quite used to it yet." He smiles, clearly satisfied. "Once you're used to it, you'll know the benefits of power." That night he holds me close, rolling with me over and over, whispering in my ear that he wants us to share a bed in life and a grave in death. I wrap my arms about his neck, my smile like silk. "All right," I say sweetly. In my heart, ice. In this life I will fight him to the death. Months pass. He neglects court more and more, claiming illness when in truth he's drunk on nights of wanton pleasure with me. When some minister calls me a demon consort in his memorial, I spend the day refusing to see Adrian. The next day, news arrives that the minister has died violently at home. The more foolish and muddle-headed he becomes, the happier I am. His dreams of civil glory and martial triumph, of everlasting fame, crumble so easily. I remain childless, and under pressure from the court, Adrian has no choice but to name Henry Yang the crown prince to steady things. I am all understanding, of course. As empress, how could I make it hard for my emperor? The more magnanimous I appear, the more guilty he feels, and the more he dotes on me. Which suits my purposes perfectly. 5 years later, I finally conceive. When the imperial infirmary confirms a slippery, pregnant pulse, Adrian waves his hand and rewards the entire harem for my sake. That night, I burn incense and whisper with him. Once he falls soundly asleep, I slip out of the main hall and step softly into a side chamber. It's dark. No lamps lit, just as he likes it. I curve my lips. 2 big hands slide around my waist from behind, his head nestling on my shoulder, breath warm in my ear. It tickles. I turn, leaning into his arms, listening to his strong, rapid heartbeat. His lips lower toward mine. I lift a finger to block his kiss. He catches my hand, voice gone rough. "Is my lady afraid?" I just laugh softly and brush a kiss against the corner of his mouth, then place his palm on my belly. "Aren't you afraid of hurting your son?" He stares, eyes wide in shock, staring at me for a long moment before he can speak. "Mine?" I tap his chest with my fist, mocking lightly. "Whose else? His?" He sweeps me up, whirling me around with sheer joy, holding me so tight it nearly hurts. "I can hardly wait," he murmurs at last. I dart a quick kiss to his throat. "Then kill him," I tease, his eyes narrow. "Do you think I wouldn't dare?" Seeing the danger in his gaze, I drop the playfulness and sober. "Nicholas, not yet. Adrian hasn't suffered nearly enough. To let him die so easily would be too kind. He must die at the right time, in the right way. 3 years ago, When I accompanied Adrian on a spring outing, we chanced upon Nicholas Xiao. The world loves its little coincidences. He's the eldest legitimate son of Grand Tutor Xiao, long retired from office. His looks are uncannily similar to Will's, but they are not the same. Will's eyes were always clear and simple. Nicholas's are full of hunger and ambition, enough to make one wary. I know him to be a master of disguise. Through the exams, with a glib tongue and sharp mind, he quickly wins Adrian's favor. Adrian even overlooks the discomfort his face causes, given its resemblance. When I see him again, in the palace, he's already the crown prince's tutor. The first time he passes by while I sit in a pavilion, he bows. I only nod and watch his receding back. The second time, a sudden downpour bursts from the sky. I have a maid send him an umbrella. He raises a brow and accepts it. The third time, I'm by the pond, shoes off, splashing the water. As he comes forward to bow, I accidentally splash his robe. The fourth time, I fall into the pond. He leaps in to save me. I wrap my arms around his neck, kiss the corner of his lips, then swim up by myself. Standing on the bank, I look down at him and laugh bold and bright. Forgot to tell you, sir, I can swim. For the first time, he smiles at me. Smiling, he looks even more like Will. Slowly, with each little tease, he comes to me at night, slipping into my bedchamber to hold me from behind. "My lady, are you like this with everyone?" he asks. I blindfold him with gauze, my voice dripping in his ear. "Try me and see, sir." That night we drown in each other. Addicted, he finds some mind-numbing incense and has me mix it into my own, so Adrian will sleep like the dead and never find out. In public, Nicholas is the emperor's favored minister. In private, he's the empress's bedmate. Inside and out, he swims like a fish in water. His rank rises by the day, and few in court dare oppose him. Henry Yang grows ever prouder. After all, Nicholas is his tutor. But people, when they grow proud, soon grow careless. Like his mother, he's stupid without knowing it. He thinks himself clever, but he's riddled with flaws. As the legitimate heir, already set as crown prince, all he had to do was behave. Then I'd have had to work for his downfall. But he's too foolish, even daring to set his sights on the child in my belly. One day on a lake outing, some short-sighted maid in my train, under his command, shoves me into the water. I laugh coldly to myself and swim up. This child is a chess piece I mean to use against Adrian. How could I let it die so easily? In the end, mother and child are safe, though I catch cold and need much medicine. Adrian and Nicholas are both furious. The relationship between Adrian and Henry is less father and son and more bad-tempered lord and unloved retainer. Henry is punished to kneel in front of the harem gate, left to the stares of all passing servants, stripped of every shred of dignity. From my sedan I look down at him. Meeting his poisonous eyes, I casually rest a hand over my belly and smile. The crown prince truly has a fine mother to have taught you such stupidity. His fists clench. His chapped lips can't form a word. He only shakes with rage. That night, Nicholas brings me a heavy stack of papers, eyes gentle. He grows more like Will by the day. He rests his head on my belly, listening earnestly for kicks. "What you have there," he says softly, "is the crown prince's soft underbelly. Once you choose to spread this around, you can topple Henry from the heir's seat anytime you like." My heart stirs, then cools again. I scoff. "Eager to clear the road for your son, are you?" His hand on my belly tightens with helpless fondness. "I only want you and our child safe." For some reason that makes my hackles rise. Nicholas has fallen in love. He shouldn't. He should not. His heart should be given to power alone. He ought to use me, make me gladly pave the way for his son. On the day I go into labor, sweat soaks me. My lips are white, the pain tears me apart. My mind drifts. Adrian clutches my hands as if I might vanish. I drag up a wan smile and whisper, "Your Majesty, I won't leave you." "Because you aren't dead yet." "How could I leave before you?" His eyes fill. Dr. Zhang stammers, trembling. "Your Majesty, this birth is dangerous. I fear. Her Majesty's chances are slim." From my pillow, I watch Adrian rampage, seizing Zhang by the robe and roaring, "I keep you to save lives, yet you tell me you can't save the Empress?" The physicians kneel and shake like leaves. Outside, there's a cry. A eunuch reports, "Your Majesty, it's Minister Xiao. He says he has a 1,000-year ginseng root at home that may save the Empress." Adrian rushes for the door. I close my eyes at last, my heart finally at peace. A baby's wail rings through the hall. I've borne a healthy son. Utterly drained, I lie limp and glance at the child in Adrian's arms. All wrinkled and ugly. Adrian is genuinely joyous. Holding my son, he comes to my bed. "Lily, look, how much he looks like me." Inside I sneer, reveling in cruel delight. On my face only tenderness as I nod. By law, Adrian may not sleep in my chamber that night. He sits by my bed until I close my eyes, then sneaks off. As soon as he's gone, I open mine, clear and bright, and wait. Nicholas soon arrives. He kneels by my bed and touches my forehead. His hands are icy. I shiver at the cold. My eyes meet his dark, gleaming ones. There's a world of words in them, but he says nothing. It's I who speaks first. "Don't say anything yet. Just let me look at you," I whisper. I stare at that face so like Will's. Mist blurs my vision. So this is what it feels like to stand at death's door. Will, an arrow through the heart. It must have hurt terribly, and you didn't even cry out. Just a little more, and I'd be with you. Tears stream from my eyes. Nicholas silently wipes them away. My hand covers his. My mind slides into darkness. 12 years pass in a blink. I sit high on the phoenix throne, looking down at my son Raymond Yang, as he bows to me. He's nearly grown, a half-grown youth honed by Nicholas's careful teaching, skilled in both letters and arms. "Is Mother Empress well?" he asks softly from his knees, concern on his face. My vision swims for a moment. I stare down with a cold, silent face. For 12 years, day after day, I've burned a mind-numbing incense in my hall. Over time, Adrian's body failed fast. He's a sick emperor now. Perhaps it's time to act. A chill voice in my heart reminds me. I come back to myself, give Ray a gentle smile, and beckon him closer. "Ray, come here to Mother." He obediently rises and crouches at my feet. I stroke his face. "After dinner, your father will question you on your studies in the Hall of Diligent Governance. Don't be lazy." He looks a bit nervous, but solemnly agrees, as if he truly sees me as his support. Before the evening meal, I carry a bowl of stew to the Emperor's study. Adrian is bent over a table of memorials. His black hair is heavily streaked with silver now. His eyes are dull, his brow knotted. Only when he sees me does his face ease. Playing the gentle wife, I smile and lift a bowl of ginseng chicken soup from the food box. It's almost over. Almost over. He suspects nothing, drinks the soup I've cooled in small sips and topples from his chair. One ingredient in the soup clashes with a component in the incense I burn nightly. Adrian's body goes limp. He can't speak a word, only slump in his seat. With the Emperor's body wholly ruined, the princes will not remain quiet. Henry is long out of favor. Rather than worry whether Adrian will recover, he sees an opening sent by heaven, and Ray is the greatest obstacle. Ray is the first to discover Adrian's illness. Naturally, whispers spread that he's the one who poisoned his own father. The court is in an uproar. Even so, Nicholas still finds time to visit me. I peel a grape and pop it into his mouth, curling against him with a laugh. "What's this? Is the regent exhausted?" He catches my wandering hand with a helpless scowl. "Blame Ray. Memorials impeaching him pile up by the day. I'd wager that idiot Henry's behind it." His gaze turns serious. "Do you still have what I gave you back then?" He means Henry's weak points on paper. I sit up and huff. "That worthless stuff, burned long ago. I never planned to use those to topple Henry. My path was already chosen." Nicholas only gives a bitter smile and says no more, drawing me back into his arms. That night, I hook my fingers in Nicholas's belt and lead him to the Emperor's study. No one is there, only my good son. Accused of poisoning his father, Ray has hardly eaten or slept. At lunch, I hint he should spend more time with Adrian. Today, a palace servant accidentally locks him inside. By now, he should still be there. Nicholas's kisses leave me weak-kneed as we stagger into Adrian's bedchamber. Adrian glares from his bed, paralyzed, as I and Nicholas embrace and kiss. I know his mind is clear, though his limbs are dead. The clear suffer more than the mad, don't they? Nicholas's breathing grows heavy. He buries his face in my neck, searing me with his mouth. I clasp his shoulders and meet him halfway. Hatred burns in me like a furnace. Nicholas's touch is the only fleeting cool. When our frenzy finally ebbs, I smooth my flushed cheeks and glide over to Adrian. His eyes bulge with fury, rage boiling in them, yet he lies helpless. I laugh twice, slap him hard, then seize his arm and drag him from the bed, just as he did to me those years ago. Finding it a bit too much effort, I straighten, take a bronze mirror and fling it down before his face. "Look at yourself. Do you still see a trace of an emperor?" All your immortal legacy in the end turns out to be another man's wedding clothes. My gaze flicks almost idly toward the screen, where a corner of a black robe peeks out. I smile more wildly. Adrian, did you know? Ray isn't your child at all. I don't bother looking at him again. I take Nicholas by the hand and leave. Back in Chaoyang Palace, Nicholas toys with my hair, resting his chin on my head. The Empress is truly ruthless, he murmurs. I lift my face. And does the regent like that? I ask softly. He twines a lock of my hair around his finger, eyes distant. I like it very much, he answers. After that day, Ray still comes daily to greet me, only now his whole bearing is gloomier. He also continues going to the Emperor's study with medication every day, poison mixed into the medicine, drop by drop. As Empress, I too must visit my sick lord. Adrian has withered, a cripple, a useless man. The servants no longer bother to treat him as anything, letting him rot and reek. His Empress has betrayed him. His most cherished son is the one who feeds him poison. I arch a brow. It's not enough. Still not enough. Ray's eyes are cold when they rest on me. I smile as if I see nothing. That night, Henry storms the palace leading guards. They drag Ray and me together to the Emperor's study. Henry produces a forged decree and stamps the imperial seal himself, then casts a disgusted look at the paralyzed Adrian. Sword drawn, he strides forward, plunges the blade into Adrian's chest, pulls it out, drives it in again and again, hacking until the dragon bed is soaked in blood. Drunk on killing, he throws his head back and laughs, then advances on Ray and me. Sword dripping. I know what he plans. He may bear the truth of patricide and regicide, but he won't bear the blame. Once he kills us, he'll divert the wrath elsewhere, wash his hands clean, and take the throne. He miscalculates. Ray's dagger lands first, stabbing him in the heart. Henry stares, wide-eyed and unwilling, at the 12-year-old brother before him, collapsing under Ray's kick. He dies, choking on his own disbelief. Ray lifts the bloody dagger, eyes like ice. The criminal Henry Yang has been executed on the spot for patricide and regicide. Nicholas marches in with soldiers, surrounding the palace guards and forcing them to bow and submit. I laugh softly and sway to the dragon bed. The ruined lump of flesh that was once a man fills me with exultation. I pull my hairpin and drive it in, again and again. The stench of blood spatters my hands, my brows. A mad, hideous laughter bursts from me as I sink to the floor. He's finally dead. Finally dead. Dead by Henry's hand, by his own son's blade. Torn apart, no trace left, no dignity at all. Chapter 19. Ray finally ascends the throne. I become Empress Dowager and Nicholas Xiao remains the all-powerful regent. A few months drift by in seeming calm. One night, Ray runs barefoot into my chamber, collapsing pale-faced into my arms. Mother, I killed them. I killed father, I killed my brother, didn't I? He is still only a child. I give a cold little laugh. Yes, Ray, you killed your father and brother. After you die, you'll be cursed by all and stinking in history forever. I push him away and fix him with an icy stare. His eyes clear, waking. Rage floods them as he glares at me. He draws the sword at his waist and points it at me, spitting curses. He calls me a whore, and so I am. My dearest lost to Adrian's hand, yet I lay under him for years, clinging to life until today. I destroyed him, and destroyed myself. Ray did nothing wrong. His only fault is having a mother who used him as a pawn. Tears burning in my eyes, I look at my son one last time and smile faintly. I'm sorry, I whisper, and hurl myself upon the blade. The sound of metal grinding through flesh is sickeningly clear. I fall, close my eyes, one last tear trailing down. Half conscious, I feel someone lift me, calling me Isabella Yang. I seem to drift back to that garden where hibiscus bloom everywhere. Chapter 19. Extra Extra. Nicholas's story. As a boy, I was schooled by my grandfather himself. Yet for all his bright virtue, that old gentleman never taught me the ethics of a true gentleman. Early on, I understood that the way of the gentleman is nothing but an ornamental shell. To hold power, you must understand the heart of kings. I had no wish to live like my grandfather, hidden away in some quiet corner. With a pack on my back and dreams in my chest, I went up to the capital. I make no pretense. I did not take office for the sake of the common people, but for myself alone. I, Nicholas Xiao, intended to be a man of power. If that meant being a wicked minister, so be it. With my talent, it didn't take long to catch the emperor's eye. I became tutor to the crown prince. Then I met her. She was empress of the realm, with a beautiful name. Lilith Yin. From our very first meeting, I sensed some emotion in her eyes that I couldn't read. I only thought her interesting. When she came to seduce me again, I found her bold and felt that such a woman matched well with my own cruelty. I followed her lead and soon discovered I couldn't let go. We were the same type after all. Gold and jade without, rot and rags within. Under a shell others envied, her soul had decayed long ago. And sometimes, when her gaze met mine, it seemed to pass right through me, looking at someone else. Who was that someone? Vexed, I checked into her past and finally understood. The little princess Isabella Yang of Nanping and the reviled demon Empress Lilith Yin were the same woman. And if not for my sharing the face of the man in her heart, how else could I have found my way to her bed? It didn't bother me. The living rarely outcompete the dead. To measure myself against a corpse would be pointless. The stillest river is the easiest to drown in. Isabella turned herself into Lilith, morning into evening, two completely different souls with no seam between them. She seemed born that way. Patient as a hunting beast, she waited, and when she struck, she dragged the almighty emperor into the mud, using our child and me both. Her hatred blazed in plain sight. Yet I knew, for hatred so vast, there can be no savior. If I couldn't save her, I could at least stand beside her. So I told myself. But I was furious that her heart held no room for me at all. When her vengeance was fulfilled, she threw my son and me aside with light, cruel ease and walked into death alone. In my anger, I refused to plant 2 more hibiscus trees in the courtyard. Now I sit there watching Isabella embroider, sip my spring-brewed tea, and finally understand that an idle, carefree life is the only real thing. Fame and rank are no more than passing clouds. Will, look at this hawk. Isn't it pretty? Isabella holds up her embroidery hoop for me. I rub her hair and smile gently. Beautiful. William Liu can be William Liu. It's only a name. Either way, I will be the one at her side.